Hi, my name is KJ. I'm an ATP SMS for over 10 years, and welcome to Adaptive Solutions. Today's topic is for any full-time wheelchair user or even patients who have been bedbound. What the fuck causes pressure wounds? Pressure is an obvious factor, but there's two other main factors relevant to a wheelchair that you'll be able to understand by the end of this video. Before I go on, the information that you're hearing today is from an experienced and research source, but it's not tailored to your specific medical situation. And so if you would like some information tailored to your medical needs, you can feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below and we'll connect. While you're at it, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's no cost to you and supports me in my mission to give high quality education to patients, clinicians, and my peers at no cost to them. Okay, let's dig into the primary issue. What's actually happening? When you sit, there are three bony prominences: your ischial tuberosities, otherwise called ITs or sit bones, and your tailbone, otherwise known as a sacrum. At those spots, you have a sharp or pointy part of a bone pressing very close to the edge of their skin. Because of that, you are pinching off the flow of blood to that area. That's problem number one. When you pinch off blood flow to the area, you're starving the tissue of oxygen. And so that in itself is bad, and that compounds with part two of the issue, which is not only do you not get good things into your tissue, but you can't let the waste product flow out. Things like lactic acid end up building up in the area and make an acidic environment locally. And part three, the physical stretching of the cells in your body. Right there, where the bone inside your body is pressing on the muscle tissue underneath, is an incredible amount of force. It will disrupt the shape and the function of the cells in that area. And all of that is bad news and kind of obvious as a factor of why you get pressure wounds because of pressure. What's not so obvious is other factors like you've heard microclimate if you're a clinician. For those that haven't heard, the heat and moisture at the spot of your wound can make whatever issues you're having with pressure even worse by lowering the integrity of the skin. When your tissue heats up, your body sends a signal that usually would ask for more oxygen to come through to cool down the tissue. But you've pinched off the flow of blood and oxygen, and so at a time where it's needing more oxygen and blood flow to cool off, it's getting less. Moisture comes into play as well. You have to have a cushion or a cover on top of that cushion that allows air to pass through and wick away the moisture somehow. Oversaturated and moist tissue is structurally compromised and can more easily be damaged by the pressure being put on it. Third is shear. Shear is a different type of force that may seem similar to pressure. However, it's more detrimental. You can think of pressure as pinching off the flow of blood, kind of like a garden hose. And shear is what happens when your skeleton slides, but your skin stays in place. And so this internal pressure or shear force of your skeleton kind of rolls or twists your cellular structure. So instead of pinching off the hose, think of like folding it over itself to make a kink. This matters because it's been shown by research that you need significantly less force by shear than by pressure to cut off the flow of blood. And so what can you do to address this in your cushion? Lots of cushions are made with concave shapes or materials that sink your butt into them, so that, speaking about the whole surface of pressure, it's spread out over as much as possible on places like your thighs and your glutes or butt cheeks. Those places can take plenty of pressure, a lot more than the little bony spots on your butt where you have bone very close to your skin. For controlling microclimate, you can take a look. Different cushions have covers that wick away moisture or have ultra breathable covers to make sure you're getting constantly air to keep the skin cooled and dry. To handle shear, different cushions take a different approach. Many cushions reduce shear by reducing the amount of friction between you and the cushion underneath it, so that when your pelvis slides forward, your whole body slides forward without too much friction keeping you in place, meaning less counterforce. However, there is one brand of cushion that takes an entirely different approach to this. Perhaps you've heard on other videos, I've talked about Ride Designs before. I talk about and use their products more often because rather than just allow the person's posture to slide out of place, they make cushions that have a deep well where those bony parts of the pelvis are. They make a deep well where those bony parts of the pelvis are and make cushions with actually very high friction. The idea is not just sharing the weight in between the bony parts of your butt and the rest of your sitting surface, but rather offload all of the weight from those high-risk areas and put more weight onto places like your thighs and your butt cheeks, which can take substantially more pressure before being an issue. They tackle shear, microclimate control, and pressure like this. For pressure, there is no contact with the bony parts of your butt. Just to begin with, there's already less compression of that tissue. For microclimate, they use these high friction and ultra breathable covers made out of a spacer mesh fabric. By having a very breathable cover, you reduce the amount of moisture, you keep the skin cooler, and this high friction part is going to address shear. So with Ride Design's philosophy, rather than having low friction so that when the patient slides, there's less shear forces, Ride Designs says, why don't we stop the patient from sliding? And so by having cushions with aggressive orthotic support and high friction covers with no weight on the bony high-risk parts of your pelvis, you can maintain a posture that doesn't slide, and even if you do, there is no weight on which to counteract where the bony parts of your pelvis are pressing forward on your skin. If you're someone that's had reoccurring pressure wounds over the course of your life as a wheelchair user, now you are armed with some information to be able to take to your therapist, doctor, or ATP to game plan what kind of changes to make from what you're using right now to have less issues in the future. I'd like to give a huge thank you to Mobility Professionals for making much of what I do possible. They are a wonderful provider for custom wheelchairs and urologicals in Southern California. To everyone else watching, thank you so much